And welcome, sports fans, to today's Sports Roundtable. Glad you joined us as it is a big time in fall sports action as we've seen a lot of conference tournaments wrap up, especially in the volleyball season, which we'll get to here momentarily. Also, football season. The regular season in Missouri has ended as of last night, and we'll be entering into district tournament play this next week. So that's an exciting time for all the teams looking to make a run at district titles here over the next few weeks. And down in Arkansas, they're starting to get into the last quarter of their season. Week 7 was wrapped up last night. 3 more weeks of the regular season down in Arkansas, and it's a big time right now. Teams looking to make a run in district tournaments and eventually state tournament play in these fall sports have gotten underway. So it's an exciting time of the fall sports season here as we're starting to get to the end. Believe it or not, it is upon us. So glad you joined us, and appreciate you tuning in each Saturday right here on YHC. And taking a look at some games from last night to take a look at. Plenty of football in the area, and we'll start down in Arkansas where the Piggott Mohawks got an overtime victory over the Manila Lions, and the Piggott Mohawks extend their record to 6-1 on the year. The Piggott Mohawks looking strong. They're currently second place in their conference and lost to the first place team last week, Newport, 7-6, at a close one. So they're right there, neck and neck with the top team in the conference. So looking good for the Mohawks going forward as they've got 3 more games on their schedule. We'll have their last 2 here on YHC with Hoxie and Piggott. Hoxie's a couple weeks away, or excuse me, Hoxie and Corning. Hoxie's a couple weeks away, and Corning wrapping up the regular season in early November. So the Piggott Mohawks having one of their best seasons they've had in pretty much the best season they've had since I've been along, since around 2009. They've had a great run this year, looking for a conference title for the end of the year. So it's looking good for the Mohawks going forward. And take a look at some other games from last night, and a game that we brought to you last night somewhat. Kind of put together a last second broadcast to bring you that Malden and Dexter game. And I didn't have a great vantage point in that game, but still yet we were able to bring it to you. And the Malden Green Wave defeated the Dexter Bearcats 44-7. And this was a tale of two halves, if there's ever been one. The Dexter Bearcats led the Malden Green Wave at half 7-6. And the ball just did not move at all in that first half. It was just a defensive game. The ball just didn't move hardly at all. A couple turnovers just kind of kept teams from getting any momentum in that first half. And the Malden Green Wave came out in the second half with a full head of steam. They really got after it defensively and moved the ball well offensively. 3 lost fumbles by the Dexter Bearcats turned into short fields for Malden, and they punched those in for touchdowns. And also 2 blocked punts deep in their own territory that were punched in for touchdowns as well. So Malden didn't move the ball great offensively, but the defense really showed up in the special teams, getting the recovered fumbles as well as the blocked punts really turned into some short fields, and the offense was able to take advantage of that, and that's the way it ended. It was all in the second half for the Malden Green Wave, 38 unanswered points by Malden in that second half. And Malden secures another undefeated season, which we'll talk about a little later, but another great run by the Green Wave this year. And other games we have Sikeston over Park Hill Central, 54-30. A big win for the Sikeston Bulldogs. Didn't quite get the story on that game last night, but Park Hill Central undefeated in Class 3. And I think the next closest team in Class 3 in the standings had 4 losses. So they had a big cushion in that district, so they may have played the second team to start out that game. Just may have, but I think they would have been favorites over Sykes in that game. So I'm only assuming that that's what took place last night. But hey, a big win for Sykeston in that game last night. And other games, Hayti over Portageville, big 42-7. One of the surprising teams this year. The Hayti Indians, not necessarily that they've only they went 8-1 on the year, but the way that they've won all year, the way they've really stepped up this year. It's one of the surprising teams in Southeast Missouri this season. And also from last night, Poplar Bluff big over Festus, 42-13. No problem for the Mules last night on their home field. And the season finale, or regular season finale. Crothersville over New Madrid County Central, big 76-13. No problem for the Tigers last night in New Madrid. Also, Kennett over East Prairie, 42-27. The Kennett Indians getting a victory over the East Prairie Eagles. Cape Central over Soldan International Studies, 54-20. Also, Charleston getting a win over Herculaneum, their third of the year, and a 20-16 victory for the Blue Jays. Not a bad finish for the Blue Jays. They've had a really tough couple of years. They got a victory over a homeschool team earlier in the year. Finally got a MSHA-sanctioned win over Kelly, and another win last night over Herculaneum. So not bad for the Blue Jays. And St. Louis University High visited Jackson last night, got a win, 53-28. Jackson took one over the chin, but Jackson's still looking good in the Class 5 District 1 in that top seed. So, they took one on the chin last night to SLU High in their season finale. Also, Chaffee over Kelly, 54-0. Kelly just struggling this year. They've yet to win a game and just hardly put any points on the board this year. But it's a young program. I think they're in their third season, and it'll take some time. But they've got the kids there. It's just going to take some time to get football acclimated with those kids there at Kelly. So it'll come. It's just going to take a little bit more time. But struggling this year certainly are the Kelly Hawks. And also we have high school volleyball scores from last night. Leopold over Puxico in 2 sets, 25-6 and 25-18. Leopold getting that win over Puxico. Also, Saxony Lutheran defeating Bernie in 3 sets, 25-22, 25-23, and 25-22. Best of 5 in that match last night. And from Thursday night, Notre Dame defeated Jackson in the SEMO Conference Tournament Championship. And that was in 3 sets, 25-20, losing the second 23-25, but winning the third 25-20. And those are the SEMO Conference Tournament champions this year, the Notre Dame Lady Bulldogs. And they're going to look to win a district title as that gets underway, I believe, this next week, if I'm not mistaken. And Notre Dame going to be the top seed in that tournament. Got tough competition there in the district, though, with Dexter and Perryville. Always a tough Class 4 district there with Notre Dame, Dexter, and Perryville. We'll be looking forward to seeing how that plays out over the next week. And that's all of your results to report on from last night. And we're going to take a break and get in more of the headlines from this last week in high school sports. So we'll be back with that coming up.
Hi, I'm Shane Horner.
Hi, I'm Tim Ellison.
Hi, my name is Richard Clark.
I'm Lori Amos.
I'm Rob Blackwell.
And I'm Ryan Bassetti.
Hi, I'm Alan King.
Hello, I'm Larry Ellison, and we're proud to be part of the Harry Blackwell Ford family here in Malden, Missouri.
Deposit your check here or here or even there. Deposit your check wherever you are with First Midwest Bank's new mobile deposit. Just tap, snap, deposit. It's that simple. New mobile deposit from First Midwest Bank, serving the communities we call home.
The area's fastest internet just got faster. Introducing 100 meg internet, now available from New Wave. With 100 meg, there's nothing you can't do. Browse better, stream more, power every device. This is lightning fast internet designed to fit your family's needs. It's brand new and it's the fastest game in town. Get 100 meg internet from New Wave, your local provider of the speed you need. Call 1-888-8-NEW-WAVE today.
And welcome back. Now take a look at some headlines from this week, notably last night in the sports scene over the area. And as we mentioned, Piggott defeats Manila 21-20. That game going into overtime. And Piggott set for a nice run to the end of their season as they went probably through the toughest part so far with Newport and now Manila last night. And probably on the better half of their schedule for them. As they've got Hoxie and Corning coming up for home games, which we'll cover for the end of the year. So looking real good for the Piggott Mohawks going forward. Looks like they've pretty much locked up a playoff game this year, which is a big deal. That's a tough conference they've been playing in for a number of years, and it's good to see them at the top of it this year. And taking a look at the game that we covered last night, Malden defeating Dexter. And with that victory, Malden secures its third straight undefeated regular season. And what a run it's been for these Malden Green Wave. Been a privilege to see them over the last 3 years play at the level that they've played at. And gone far in the state tournaments over the last few years. 2 years ago, made it to the state semifinals, losing to Lamar. And then last year, going to the state championship and losing to Lamar. Lamar's been just dynastic over the last 6 to 7 years, and that trend continues. But Malden's been right there, and they've got another year of an undefeated season as they secured that last night on their home field. Just a nice run by these Malden Green Wave. It's something you don't see very often, and probably might not see for some time. 3 straight regular season undefeated seasons. And looking to make another run. It looks like they're going to match up with Crothersville once again in that district championship, which will take place in Mullen as they've got the top seed in that district. Looks like it's going to match up once again as they had a tough bout earlier in the year. Went into, triple overtime, got that victory in triple overtime. Looks like we might have another one of those games coming up in a few weeks, as that would be, 3 weeks away from now in that district tournament final. But it's going to be fun to see how that plays out. But Malden, great run. Third straight undefeated regular season. Congratulations to the Green Wave. Also from last night, to take a look at Hayti Downs Portageville, and they secure the second seed in that Class 1 District 1 tournament. And of course, the top seed is Valley Catholic, as they've had a great run. But this could be the year that they could be nipped, even in the district tournament, as it's certainly going to be a Hayti and Valley Catholic final. And Hayti's got the team to beat them. If there's any weakness in that Valley Catholic football team, it's in the secondary. And as Lamar really piled on them a few weeks ago with the pass, and Lamar's not really a passing team, but they put it in the air and really exposed that Valley Catholic secondary. And Hayti certainly has the passing capability. Alan Mills last night had a big game, 152 yards passing, I think 160-plus yards rushing. So you got a dual-threat quarterback, and especially one that can throw it. Got weapons out on the outside to get down the field and pass the ball against that Valley secondary. That could be the difference in that game, airing the ball out downfield and making plays in space. And if you get those Hayti athletes in space, they're going to be tough to handle. So, Hayti might just be able to take down the dynastic Valley Catholic football dynasty this year. So we'll see what plays out. But Hayti looking really good, as I said. One of the surprising teams this year. Probably expected them to be one of the better teams in Class 1, especially among the small schools. But they played Malden right down to the wire there in the fourth quarter. And it looks like they're going to make a great run in this tournament. And looking forward to that Valley and Hayti district final, which will be in Valley up the way in St. Genevieve. But Hayti is going to have a shot here in a few weeks. And also take a look at last night, Poplar Bluff defeating Festus, and they secure the second seed in that Class 5 District 1 tournament. Jackson with the top seed, and Jackson defeated Poplar Bluff by a touchdown earlier in the year. So that could be a nice district final later on in the year, which that game was at Poplar Bluff. This time it would be at Jackson, as Jackson's got the number 1 seed in the district. So Poplar Bluff having a fine year this year. They graduated quite a few kids last year. They got a pretty good underclass underclassmen team. They're among some sophomores that are really talented and playing at a high level. So we'll see what happens there with Poplar Bluff, as that they're certainly likely to match up with Jackson in that district final, which we'll get to those standings here in our next segment. Kennett defeating East Prairie last night. Kennett's had a great run these last couple of years. They went to district championships the last 2 years, losing to Park Hills Central in the finals, which is no bad deed there. Park Hills had a great run as well, but Kennett, Aaron Pixley turning that program around and competing for district championships just here pretty much ever since 2 or 3 years in since he's got there. They've competed for district titles, and it's a testament to the staff there, Aaron Pixley and the kids that have really bought in there and performing at a high level. And they go in, I think, with 3 losses on the year. I think they finished up 6-3 on the year. I think I have that right. We'll get into the standings, and I'll be confirmed or proven wrong there. But Kennett getting a 3rd seed, which we'll talk about their matchup coming up in our next segment. So Kennett looking good once again this year. And taking a look at volleyball, Notre Dame defeating Jackson for that SEMO Conference title Thursday night. And as we mentioned, Notre Dame's had a great run this year and defeating Jackson for that conference title, going into district tournament play now, and a chance to win another district title with Notre Dame as they won it last year. Look to win another one this year. So we'll see how that plays out over the next week. And those are the headlines from the area, and we're going to take another break and be back with state rankings and district standings going into the district tournament this next week, and we'll be back with that coming up, so don't go away.
What is your emergency? Need assistance at County Road 61 and Highway 9. Help is on its way.
Clear! There's a better way to jumpstart your soil back to health. Apply Endzone to protect and increase nitrogen efficiency without killing bacteria. Apply Prevent to increase phosphorus availability and reduce fixation. Better yet, use them both to get more from your fertilizer investment and see higher potential yields. Ag Explorer, your prescription for healthy soil.
The competitive edge. It's the edge that sets you apart from your competition. Every business needs it. Now every business can get it. Partner with Advanced Business Solutions and give your business the competitive edge. Advanced Business Solutions, delivered by New Wave, offers scalable fiber optic-based internet solutions to fit your needs. Now you can download without the wait on a network designed for you. Call Advanced Business Solutions and get the competitive edge for as low as $39.99 per month.
And now let's take a look at some football state rankings heading into this last week. These won't reflect last night's games, but Valley Catholic on top there, no surprise at 7-1. Their only loss coming to Lamar, top-ranked team in Class 2. Big clash there a few weeks back, but Valley Catholic staying on top at number 1. Marceline undefeated 8-0 at number 2, followed by Hamilton Penny at 3. 4, Lincoln. 5, Hayti. The Hayti Indians remain at number 5. One of the top teams in the state in Class 1, looking to make a run in the district tournament starting next week. And then number 6, Cass Midway. 7, Wellington Napoleon. 8, Skyline. 9, Maysville. 10, Lockwood. And take a look at Class 2. Number 1, Lamar. 2, Mountain View Liberty. 3, Trinity. 4, Mountain Grove. 5, Malden. And the Malden Greenway move up to number 5. I think they were at number 7 last week, or maybe 6, but they do move up to number 5 for this week. Lutheran North at number 6, 7, Fair Grove, 8, Macon, 9, Centralia, and 10, Lexington. Taking a look at Class 3, Maryville on top at number 1, 2, Blair Oaks, 3, Center, 4, Manette, 5, McClure South Berkeley, 6, Richmond, 7, Park Hills Central, 8, Mexico, 9, Osage, and 10, Reed Spring. And number 1 in Class 4 is Hannibal as they move up as Kearney took a loss. 2 is Kearney, the defending Class 4 state champion. 3, Platte County. 4, Carl Junction. 5, Parkway North. 6, Ladue. 7, Country Day. 8, Webb City. 9, St. Dominic. And 10, Hillsboro. And take a look at Class 5 Chaminade at number 1. 2, Battle. 3, Glendale. 4, Fort Zumwalt North. 5, Park Hill South. 6, Staley. 7, William Chrisman. 8, Carthage. 9, Jackson. And 10, Liberty. And those are your state rankings heading into this previous week. They do not reflect last night's games. But now moving on to the important stuff, the district standings, starting out with Class 1, and these do reflect last night's games heading into the district tournament this next week. And Valley Catholic finishing on top at 8-1, and they'll have the top overall seed. They'll have a first-round bye as well, so that will match up Kennett with the second seed at just over nearly 52 points. They'll match up with Crystal City. They'll host Crystal City next Friday night. The third seed, St. Vincent, will host Chaffee, the sixth seed. And then fourth, Scott City will host Portageville in that other quarterfinal matchup in the district first round of districts. So those are your matchups to look forward to in Class 1, District 1 next week. And take a look at Class 2, District 1. Malden with an undefeated 9-0 regular season with over 49 points. They will host the 8th-seeded Grandview next Friday night, who's winless at 0-7. Second seed, Crothersville will host Kelly, the 7th seed. 3, Jefferson will host 6th-seeded St. Pius. And 4th-seeded East Prairie will host 5th-seeded Charleston. Those will be your matchups next week in Class 2, District 1. Taking a look at Class 3, District 1, Park Hill Central at 8-1 with 45 points. They will host New Matter County Central, the 8th seed, next week. Second-seeded St. Genevieve with over 37 points will host 7th-seeded Fredericktown. Third-seeded Kennett will host 6th-seeded Dexter, and that will be the matchup to look forward to next week. A lot of these will be blowouts in the first round, with the exception of maybe a 4 versus 5 matchup or a 3 versus 6. And that Kennett and Dexter matchup will be the one to watch. It'll be in Kennett next Friday night. And the Kennett Indians defeated Dexter by 2 touchdowns a few weeks back. But it was a close game. Kennett had an early lead, and then Dexter fought their way back. And it was a 1-score game late in the fourth quarter. Kennett punched it in for a late touchdown to secure the 2-touchdown victory over Dexter, but that could be a close one. Some turnovers really hamstrung the Bearcats in that game, so it's one of those games. If both the teams play even, don't really turn the ball over, we could have a nail-biter coming down to the fourth quarter. So that'll be a matchup to look forward to. We might just bring that one to you live from Kennett next week, so be sure to tune in for that if we bring that to you live from Kennett next Friday night. And then that 4 versus 5 matchup will be Potosi hosting Salem. Take a look at Class 4 District 1. Farmington gets the top overall seed, and this will be one competitive tournament here in Class 4 District 1. Really that top seed, you can it doesn't really mean a whole lot because these teams really beat up on each other. Farmington with the top seed at 6-3 with nearly 42 points, and trailing is Hillsboro. They did have the top seed in Class 4, Class 4 District 1. Looks like they lost that one with a loss last night, and they go 7-2. Or I don't know if they had a loss or not last night, but they're at number 2. And Farmington will take on Perryville in the first round. Hillsboro will take on DeSoto. Sykeston will host Festus, that 3 versus 6 matchup, and North County will host Cape Central. So those are the matchups for Class 4 District 1, and that'll be competitive. You can go even all the way down to the 5th seed there, Cape Central. They'll have a shot. Those teams really match up well. I mean, just look at the points. The difference between the top seed and the 7th seed is only 9 points. So it just goes to show you how well or how even these teams are. The top seed's 6-3 and the 7th seed's 5-4. So it goes to show you that this district is pretty wide open for those probably, especially among the top 5 seeds. It could get interesting in this tournament. Class 4, District 1. And Class 5, District 1, only 5 teams, so Jackson will have a first-round bye as the number 1 seed with 43 points, and Poplar Bluff trailing just by a few points. But that head-to-head matchup would have put Jackson over Poplar Bluff, even if Poplar Bluff would have surpassed Jackson in the points. So Poplar Bluff will match up against Oakville. They'll host Oakville next Friday night, that 2 versus 5 matchup, and the 3 versus 4, Vianney hosting Rockwood Summit. And the winner of Vianney and Rockwood Summit would take on Jackson in that semifinal round. So those are your district standings heading into next week, and we'll be getting into district tournament play, the first round, next week throughout Missouri. So we'll see how it all plays out next week in high school football district tournament play. And as I said, it kind of determines how these games match up and games that we might bring, and we might just bring you that Dexter versus Kennett game next Friday night in Kennett. So we'll probably bring that to you. So look forward to that next Friday night. And also taking a look at our broadcast schedule going forward. We've got 2 more regular season games remaining on the schedule, as we've got Hoxie versus Piggott. And we've also got Corning at Piggott. Hoxie and Piggott and Corning at Piggott. And those are the Hoxie-Piggott games in 2 weeks on the 28th. And we just might bring that one live in a couple of weeks. We'll see how that plays out. Corning at Piggott, and we might just bring that one live as well. So just might do that at Piggott over those last 2 games. And also next week, we don't have a game for next week, but we just, the way that district tournament plays out, we more than likely will host that Kennett versus Dexter game next Friday night in Kennett. And take a look at our broadcast we've got for you. This weekend, we've got the Dexter and Malden game that will replay Sunday at 4. Sunday at 4, we're going to replay that Dexter versus Malden game. We typically play some of those Dexter games that we do on Saturdays at noon, but we weren't able to actually record our full broadcast. We got to put that together from last night. So to replay Sunday at 4, that Dexter versus Malden broadcast. And the Manila and Piggott game, that will be Sunday at 7 and Tuesday at 6:30. You can catch that replay of Manila versus Piggott Sunday at 7 and Tuesday at 6:30. We'll get those games uploaded online to yhctv.com this weekend. And we're going to take another break and be back with some college football and NFL football games to look forward to. Also, the Major League Baseball playoff schedule. And we'll have that coming up next.
Welcome to NFL Total Access,
the show that takes you inside the locker room and down on the field. With inside access to all 32 teams all year long. NFL Total Access, Monday through Saturday, only on NFL Network.
NFL Network, where football season never ends.
NFL Red Zone, the channel that brings you every touchdown from every game on Sunday afternoons. Watch the most exciting moments like never before, live in HD. Every touchdown from every game, live on one channel, NFL Red Zone.
And welcome back. Now let's take a look at some college football games taking place today around the country. NC State's at third-ranked Clemson, ACC matchup there. Kansas State at 19th-ranked Oklahoma in the Big 12. 20th-ranked West Virginia at Texas Tech in the Big 12. 10th ranked Nebraska at Indiana in the Big Ten. North Carolina at 16th ranked Miami in the ACC. 24th ranked Western Michigan breaking the top 25 this week. They're at Akron. Wake Forest at 14th ranked Florida State in the ACC. Top ranked Alabama at 9th ranked Tennessee. Big SEC matchup there later on today. 12th ranked Ole Miss at 22nd ranked Arkansas. Big game for the Razorbacks today with Ole Miss. Also, we've got 2nd ranked Ohio State at 8th ranked Wisconsin. It's a big Big Ten matchup later on today. So we got some big matchups there. Ohio State, Wisconsin, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Alabama, Tennessee. So some big games to look forward to later on today, especially with those 3 matchups. And SEMO's got the week off this week, bye week. And South Alabama is taking on ASU at 6 p.m. tonight on ESPN3 in Jonesboro. So ASU off to a nice start in the conference. Hopefully they'll continue that with South Alabama this evening. Taking a look at some NFL football taking place. The 49ers at the Bills, and Colin Kaepernick making his first start of the season. And he's made headlines not on the field, but certainly on the sideline as he's taking a knee every week during the national anthem. So he's certainly made the headlines off the field, on the sideline, but we'll see how it plays out on the field for Colin Kaepernick and the 49ers as they take on the Buffalo Bills this Sunday. And the Eagles at the Redskins in the NFC East. The Ravens at the Giants. The Panthers at the Saints. In an NFC South matchup, the Panthers desperately need a win. They're 1-4 on the year, and a loss surely would put them in danger of missing the playoffs this year with 5 losses, pretty much having to run the table the rest of the way just to make the playoffs. So a big win needed for the Panthers as they take on the Saints in New Orleans on Sunday. The Rams at the Lions, the Cowboys at the Packers. That's a big matchup for Sunday afternoon. The Bengals at the Patriots. The Falcons at the Seahawks. Big NFC matchup there for Sunday. This game could have a big impact on who gets home field advantage in the NFC playoffs. I think one of these 2 teams will end up as the top seed. I think when it comes down to the end of the season, the Falcons and the Seahawks, and the winner this could determine home field advantage come the end of the year. And the Steelers at the Dolphins, and Sunday Night Football is the Colts at the Texans in the AFC South, and the Jets at the Cardinals for Monday Night Football. They could have picked some better primetime games than those, but either way, that's how it plays out. So those are the NFL matchups to look forward to this weekend. And take a look at the Major League Baseball playoffs. They're wearing the League Championship Series now, as last night the Indians defeated the Blue Jays 2-0 in a shutout as they lead that American League Championship Series 1-0. And heading into Game 2 today as the Blue Jays and Indians play at 3 o'clock this afternoon on TBS. And, of course, the Indians up 1-0 over the Blue Jays. The pitching matchups, Cleveland's got Josh Tomlin on the mound, and Toronto's got J.A. Happ in Game 2. And the National League Championship Series gets underway today, actually tonight, 7 o'clock on Fox Sports 1, FS1, and the Dodgers are traveling to take on the Cubs in Game 1. And the matchups there are John Lester for the Cubs and Kenta Maeda of, I don't even know who that is. So haven't watched a whole lot of baseball this year. He's pitching for the Dodgers. So those are the matchups to look forward to for today. And Sunday, the Dodgers will take on the Cubs in Game 2. And that game time will be 7 o'clock on Fox Sports 1. And I don't know the pitching matchups. They're not showing the pitching matchups for that game on Sunday. So those are the matchups to look forward to this weekend in the Major League Baseball playoffs. And that's pretty much all we got for you for today. We appreciate you for tuning in as always. Look forward to seeing you right back here with us next week. Actually, I won't be here next week. I'll be in Arizona visiting the in-laws, and I won't be here for the roundtable next week. So we'll try to come up with something for you. But appreciate you tuning in for this week, and we'll look forward to seeing you down the road. And until then, I'm Tyler Wagner. Have yourself a great week. Take care, everyone.